Good morning. Thank you for joining me for today's Facebook Live. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia. This is the card that we're kind of going to make today. I did it in my class earlier this month and I saw the card this morning and suddenly an image popped into my head that this could be a really good Valentine's Day card. So I haven't made the card yet, so hopefully it's going to translate into paper with what's in my head. I'll just give you a quick look at the products we're going to use. They are new, so only available from the 6th of January. And I'm only going to use the stamps, but it is actually a bundle, so I'm going to just show you both. So those are the stamps. Endless Love. For me, this is a really good set for either Valentine's Day, obviously, or I can see lots of wedding and engagement cards made with this. And it does have coordinating dies, and I was going to use the dies on the card, but then when I looked at these, it just decided, no, these dies are not going to work for what I want, so we're not using the dies today, but we are using lots of the stamps. Okie dokie. Right, now, getting started, I have a piece of masking paper, and this is 6 centimeters wide, so that would be 2 1/4 inches, and it's just the full width of the masking paper. So what we're going to do is tear it, and I know tearing is sometimes the worst thing I can tell you to do, but here I don't want a straight tear, okay, so I actually try and make it wiggly. Now, I do find, and I've probably said this every time I use the masking paper, but it is very sticky. And if you don't, and this is my technical term, unsticky it a bit, then it will actually rip your paper. Okay, so you can't see what I'm doing because it's under camera, but I'm just sticking it and lifting it up against my pants a few times just to get rid of some of that stickiness. If I was wearing long sleeves, I would do it against my sleeves, or you can do it against your arm anyway, just to take a bit of that stickiness off the back. Alright, now I need some paper, and what we're going to do is take my layer and I'm going to stick one piece along the top. So it doesn't have to be exact, but just lining up those straighters, and the other one along the bottom. Okay, so I've got this gap in between, and what I'm going to do is pick up some of my real red, and just remember that the real red is quite dark, so go gently. And I don't want my blending too dark because we are going to stamp over it, but you can see I'm not being fussed about getting it even. I don't mind if there's light or darker, and I'm quite fine with there being white gaps in between. Okay. Now we're going to take, no, before we do this, I decided that this time, because my Valentine's Day stamp is, well, Valentine's, the day and the happy are separate, is quite a big stamp, and I had actually stamped it, but it left, when I cut out Happy Valentine's Day, it was a really big piece, so I decided I'm either going to be really brave or really stupid, and we'll find out as soon as I've done this which it is. And I'm going to stamp directly onto my card. Okay, so I'm doing the Valentine's here first so that I can see where I want to stamp around it. And then we're going to stamp some hearts. I guess the thing with hearts is that we kind of want them that we can see some of the hearts. But I have some of these little hearts, and there is a teeny tiny heart stamp, but I decided that I didn't need that one, which May or may not have been a mistake, we'll find out shortly. And do that slowly, like I said to you, just in case it is still really sticky. You want to pull it off carefully so that it doesn't tear the paper. Okay. And all right, let's just stick with this piece for the minute. I'm going to stamp my happy over here. And my day. All right, so it may not be 100% straight, but I didn't mess that up too badly. I'm good with that. And then I'm going to take my insert, and one of the pieces, it really doesn't matter which one. Now this time I'm sticking it sort of towards the top, but don't go too high because you do still want to have place to write your note. And wiggly bit at the bottom, we're going to just do our bit of blending again. And then trying to decide, because this time we're only going to get the tops of hearts here, because I don't know, top of a heart you can still sort of envision a heart, but bottoms of hearts just don't work with just the pointy bits. And we'll stamp some of those and some of my little red dots again, just because they're cute. Okay, so there we go. That's our insert now done. And that's all our masking and stamping done. So this is going to be a really easy card. And we're going to my glue doesn't want to come out, so let's just push that around. That's why I did that on the center of the card, because I knew it would eventually come out in a great big blob, so at least if it's in the center it's not going to squish out too badly. Now I could have cut some of those tiny little heart dies out and stuck them on, but I just thought we've got enough hearts stamped in the center. So lucky this card is sort of turning out somewhat like I thought it would. I thought I had my pick it up tool. Don't know what I did with that. Okay, so instead of hearts, I'm going to go to my little all-time favorites over here and use some of these ladybirds again. I have to say that when I ordered the ladybirds, I actually did order 2 packs of these embellishments because I knew that I would probably be using them a lot. And I might just put another one. Kind of think it's a bit wasteful to use so many on one card, but no, I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it with just the 2. I know that they say that you should use odd numbers, but I think that it's lovely with just the 2. So there we go. There's our Valentine's Day card, all ready to roll for Valentine's Day. And you can use this technique, use whatever stamps you like. It lands up looking pretty. Okay, so that's us done for today. I will be back next week. I'm just trying to think what the date is next week. It's the 28th. So yes, we'll be here next week. Have a lovely Christmas, stay safe, and I will catch you again next week. Bye for now.